1. Hi, I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Well, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you didn't notice that I rebroadcast my Wednesday morning for Thursday and took the day off on Friday, which is great. Big news today, and it's really interesting because I actually mentioned Les Wunderman last week, the last show. So Wunderman and J. Walter Thompson, JWT, boy, that's a venerable, man, that goes back to like the 20s, I think. My word, and Wunderman, they merged to become Wunderman Thompson. Wunderman gets top billing. Why is that significant to me? Well, if you remember last week, I said I was billed against Les Wunderman and Jules Sugarman on the last day of the catalog conference after lunch, which is a terrible spot. And I asked him why. I forgot to tell the rest of the story. I asked him why they put me there, and they said, well, John, you always pull a big crowd. Back in those days. And so, okay, great. So they thought I was going to keep people from punching their airline ticket, hightailing it out of downtown Chicago after lunch. I said, that's not how it works. You look at the conference and you say, how long does it go? Oh, there's one session after lunch. Oh, tough. Let's book a ticket for 3 o'clock, and get out of downtown. Right? Which is exactly what happened. But fortunately, Jack Miller lived in Chicago, so he didn't rush away. And it was pretty much life-changing. Anyway, what is significant about this? Well, what's interesting is I went over to the over the Wunderman. Les Wunderman was a direct marketing guy. In my opinion, he was speaking at the catalog conference. And so I went over there to try and search their site for direct marketing. And I can't even find a search button, much less direct marketing. But I did think this was fun. Brands must be ready and all this stuff. I mean, they really don't have any content here whatsoever. But 72% of brands say they are future-focused, but 70% won't sacrifice short-term gains in exchange for long-term benefits. I thought that was especially poignant today on Cyber Monday. So where should you start? Are you satisfied with your current investments? Not satisfied with marketing investments, not satisfied with data investments. 60% are not satisfied with what they've spent already. And it's almost $1 trillion industry. Data, it's such baloney. And here, look at this. This is it. You may have data, but can you take meaningful action? No, 95% believe you should have some data before you take action. 62% say they're unable to turn data into insights or action. And 68% can't use data to create relevant messages. Okay, get my book. Don't go to Wunderman. They don't know how either. I mean, good Lord, if the biggest brands in the world can't figure it out, get my book, for heaven's sakes. It's possible this little guy in a dark room. I love this turtleneck look. It looks like I'm just a head floating in space. I really like it. I got a bouncy chair, too. Okay, so get my book, Spinning Straw into Gold, John Miglosh. Right. It's so simple. You got to make an offer, which most of them don't do. And that brings me to the IKEA ad. I like this ad. I really did. But this is what they did for Christmas. It's a little slow. The kid dumps the cards on the floor. He wants to be a magician. Up-and-coming magician. And he's failing. One trick after another. He should go online. You can find out how to do all these tricks. That one I thought could almost have been pulled off. So the grandpa, which I like, is a grandpa. And oh, by the way, the big news, forget about marketing. I'm an expecting grandpa. My first. Get me some hearts on that. Okay, so the grandpa repaints the old IKEA furniture, I'm presuming. And there's a black drape in front of the, if you looked closely the first time, I didn't see how to do it. He throws the bunny in there and ta-da, it's gone. Look at that. There you go. Now see, that's long-term branding. That's great stuff. That's long-term branding. The heck with data. The heck with and I worked at an ad agency for a couple of years, and they were basically, we don't want to know. We just want to win awards, and that'll win you awards, right? So that's the way it goes. Now, let's go to Black Friday and see what the jig is up. Okay, this one was interesting, but we'll go back to Black Friday. We'll get to the other one if we get to it. Online stores are the biggest winner on Black Friday, but legislation may threaten revenue gains. Okay, and I love this picture. There you go, with the girl shopping. And it says, Black Friday doesn't have the sense of urgency as in the past. Feels more like a busy regular weekend day than in most of the stores. And I agree. I bought on Land's End. I bought more turtlenecks. I bought the wrong size, I realized this morning. But I have a bunch of them that are the wrong size. If you buy the Super T, you get the large. If you buy the other one, the silky one, you got to get a medium. You know, that's a problem. Because the large Super Ts do shrink a bit. And fit perfectly. And the other ones, if you buy large, they just drape all over you. So anyway, I think that's right. I think there isn't the urgency. And there isn't the rushing out to the store. Plus, we all have our 56-inch big screen TVs already, so we don't need it. And the other thing was, they were putting together, I thought this was really interesting, they're putting together the Nexus ruling, Justice Kennedy ruining America, that allowed states to require online stores to collect sales taxes. That's not what the ruling was about, by the way. It allows states where you're not there to force you to pay them taxes. That's what it allows. And we got to get some rules on that. It's a disaster. But just to put it in perspective, I've been buying from Land's End since 1975 or 4 or something like that. And I've always paid sales tax. Everything I buy. Does that make me want to go to LL Bean? No. It's not that much money. You know, I spent $100. It was $4 or something. You know. Now, if you lived in Texas or one of those no income tax states that have 10% sales tax, well, then it would be $10. But, you know, you're going to have to drive to someplace, and that's going to cost you money and time and all the rest. So, anyway, I thought it was good that they put it together. The other point I think this was good in this article is that consumers are more likely to be purchasing smaller treat products rather than splashing out on high-end items. No, that's what I did. Bought myself some stuff. I kept saying to my wife, you want to get in on this? Free shipping. Free shipping. You know, she couldn't come up with anything, so I did it myself. Anyway, so I think that's true. And here's an interesting article. Black Friday took 1/3 of sales from smartphones. So of the $6.22 billion in sales that we're gonna do on Smart Friday, a third of it, $2 billion, came from smartphones. I have a $100 smartphone. It's got a replaceable battery. I'm hoping it lasts me 5 years. That's about right. That's about right. $20 a year is about what a phone ought to cost. You know, I used to buy those old black ones. So, according to Adobe, which tracks a bunch of, I don't know why, they must have bought up some order processing. But anyway, they cited Adobe, and they said sales were up 23% over last year, year over year, which is unbelievably great. And they said Black Friday is going to be close to eclipsing last year's Cyber Monday, which is supposed to be bigger. Although Land's End just said, you know, you got the deal 50% off for until midnight tomorrow. So, but I may buy a new camera because this one's always out of focus. It doesn't focus, but the ones that focus worse. Okay, so Adobe further noted an increase in buy online, pick up in the store transactions, which I kind of like sometimes. But you never know quite, you know, as a new store gets into it, you got to give them some time to shake that out. And that was another story, that there was some individual stores that had a problem processing all the transactions. Now, the SI swimsuit article, which just was, you know, over the weekend, I thought was interesting because what they were, and I took out the pictures, they were talking about how the models now have become like a business force. And one of my best friends, Mark Graham, is Lindsey Graham's dad. So I remember when she wanted to take a modeling course. You know, one of those that you know that I had 3 daughters, so we were always getting these things in the mail. Your daughter's so cute. She should be a model, kind of stuff. Well, anyway, my girls didn't do it. One of them almost did it, but she was so short, and and Ashley did it. Did I say Lindsey Graham? Ashley did it, and she made the cover of Sports Illustrated as the first plus size top model, and now she's got a swimsuit line, and you know my girls and my wife thought it was really great, and so these are women that don't just show up for a photo shoot; they want to be successful, and I think that's kind of good. Go get them.